and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little collection of my favorite blushes for the fall and autumn season. I did post a video with my favorite fall lipsticks, which if you haven't seen that, I will link it down below. I do think lipsticks and blushes are like my two of my most favorite things to buy. And I also did like my favorite blushes and lipsticks for the summer, and you guys seem to like those videos. And in my fall lipsticks video, someone commented and said, could you please do a favorite fall blushes? So I'm here today with that video, and I had a really good time picking out some of my fall favorites. I will say, similar to the lipsticks, a lot of these colors look similar. And that's just because I like what I like for the different seasons. So in this collection, you're gonna see a lot of warm, dusty kind of colors. And I do want to try and give a decent description of what each of these colors looks like. So I'm gonna go grab my phone, I think. All right, so I've got my phone, and I think I'm gonna go through kind of in no particular order. I'm gonna start with MAC because I have two MAC blushes that I picked out. And excuse me, I'm looking down because I'm looking at my phone to look up the colors of these. Okay, so the first MAC blush that I love, and I'm gonna start with this one because this one is a favorite year round, but for some reason I've particularly been gravitating towards it just this past month, so for the fall. And this is the MAC blush in Melba. Now online on MAC's website, they describe this as a soft coral peach. However, I think that it's really quite neutral. It definitely is on the warm side. It's a matte blush, I believe. Yes, it's a matte blush. And it just goes with everything. That's why I originally bought this blush, because I heard people talking about it on YouTube as just like an everyday wearable blush, and it definitely is that. A lot of the blushes that I have to mention actually are very wearable for every day because the colors are so neutral in tone. And the reason that I really like neutral toned, easy wearable blushes for the fall is because I tend to like darker lips and eyes. So when you're going a little bit darker with your details, it's kind of nice to keep your cheeks a little bit more neutral so you don't have too many colors going on. The second MAC blush that I love for the fall is actually one that I have in my little MAC blush Z palette, but I will pop the pan out so that we can take a look at this one exclusively. And this is Plum Foolery. Plum Foolery is a sheer tone shimmer blush, and the color is just described as faintly plum. This one is really pretty, again, because it has a little bit of a shimmer or a sheen, so it gives your cheeks a nice glow. And I feel like the shimmer in it is kind of gold, so again, warm, but the plum color is, I guess, a little bit more cool berry. I do really like this color, and I just realized that I need to be swatching these blushes, so let's go back and swatch Melba, and then I'll swatch Plum Foolery right below it. And I'm making the swatches quite pigmented just so you can see the color difference, but obviously if you're gonna wear these on your cheeks, you're not gonna wear them this packed on. But the top one there is Melba. Again, it's a matte soft coral peach, and the bottom one is Plum Foolery. And I don't really see it picking up that nicely on camera, but in person it really is just a very pretty pinky berry color with a nice golden sheen. Love both of those, and MAC blush formula is just fantastic. You can't really go wrong with it. The next blush that I'm going to talk about is the one that I'm wearing today, and this is actually a newer blush to my collection. It's from the Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Blushes, and this one is in the shade Video. Video, I believe, is described as a soft nude. To me, it looks kind of like a matte or a satin finish. There's actually not a bunch of description about it online, but I'm on Temptalia, and she's calling it a softened medium brown with warm, light rosy undertones and a semi-matte finish. I think that's a pretty accurate description. It's very neutral, so it pretty much goes with every eye look, but it does bring a little bit of deepness and warmth to the skin. I love the formula of these blushes. Swatching this and touching this right after swatching the MAC blushes, I will tell you, this one's definitely softer and I feel like a little bit more finely milled. It's definitely a lot dustier, like a dusty rose compared to the first two. It's the third one, obviously, on my hand right here. It's easy to wear. I'm wearing it, like I said, today. I love the formula of these blushes. I don't know about them lasting 8 hours, but they do last a fairly decent amount of time. So that one there is Video. The next blush I'm going to talk about is Benefit's Rockateur. And this is a blush that I pretty much bring out exclusively for this time of year. I don't know why. And this is one that I heard about on YouTube, hyped up a while ago, maybe like a year or two. I think it's supposed to be sort of like a rose gold. It's just, it gives you a really, really nice glow to the cheeks, which is what I love about this one. But the color, for some reason, just reminds me of fall. I think rose gold is really, really pretty year-round, obviously, but for some reason, I just gravitate towards this one in the fall. And looking at it in the pan, it has like a really cool sort of iridescence. But it just gives you a really nice sort of dewy glow, which I think is perfect for the fall. It's there at the bottom. It looks a little bit lighter than all of the other ones on camera, but again, very wearable, great formula, beautiful color, and one of my favorites for the fall. This next blush is one of, again, my favorites year round, but I think that the warmth of it just really lends itself to this season. And the color of this is very kind of similar to the Urban Decay video shade, but this one is a little bit more shimmery and a little bit more pigmented. And this is Becca's Wild Honey blush. I heard about Jaclyn Hill talk about this maybe about a year ago, and I just went into Sephora and picked it up because the shade of it just is so like perfect, warm, and neutral. I believe it's described as a peachy nude. It's a light medium peachy orange with warm undertones and a hint of brown paired with a pearly sheen. Becca blushes are extremely, extremely soft and pigmented. If you've never picked up a Becca blush before, I would say you probably need one in your life. Compared to video, I would say it's a little bit peachier, it's more shimmery. It's just a really pretty color. It's right here. You'll see it's probably the most brown of all of the other blushes that I've showed so far, but this is one of just my favorite all-around blushes. The formula is out of this world. That color is just very autumnal. That kind of orangey, peachy brown to me is really perfect for this season. So that one is Becca's Wild Honey. These are some of my favorite blush formulas of life. This one particularly, I remember when I did my summer video, I showed the palette, which this color is actually in the palette, and the other two are very summery and springy, and this one I feel like is very fall. This one is Mood Exposure, and it's a really pretty plum with a sheen kind of color. It's one of the more purpley blushes, and it looks, the one that I have is really kind of light just because of the combination that I got. You can hardly see it actually. Here below Wild Honey. Mine, like I said, looks very light and powdery because I have a lot of the Ambient lighting powder in mine and not a lot of the blush. But the one that I have in my Ambient blush palette has more of the pigment. I hope that made sense. It gives your cheeks a beautiful glow, a beautiful sheen, and it is kind of plummy, so I feel like it pairs really nicely with like berry toned lipsticks and other fall things, but I love that specific color for the fall and winter. It's just one of my absolute favorites. All right, I've got two more blushes to show and I'm like running out of space to swatch them, but I'm gonna try really hard. We're gonna do this, okay? We're just moving the bracelet down. The next one that I wanted to mention is the NARS blush in Luster. And this one is kind of, again, similar to the Becca Wild Honey, similar to the video shade by Urban Decay. It's one of those sort of like peachy, nude, very warm tones. Luster is described on the NARS website as a sheer golden apricot. I feel like it has some gold flecks in there, and all of these blushes, you guys, are so good. I wouldn't be showing them to you if I didn't think that they were all amazing. This is the most golden, kind of bronzy, shimmery one that I've shown out of all the other ones. It's so pretty, oh my gosh. It's definitely a lot lighter than Becca's Wild Honey, so if that one's a little bit too dark for you, this one might be a good choice. I would also say it's a lot more golden and a lot more shimmery than the Urban Decay video shade. So NARS Luster is down here all the way at the bottom. You can see it's got like a really, it's like kind of like an orange with like a goldy sheen. It's so pretty, and one of my hands down favorite NARS blushes ever. The last blush that I want to mention is one of the Clinique Color Cheek Pop blushes, and this one is in the shade Ginger Pop. This one is similar to a lot of the other ones that I've mentioned. I warned you at the beginning, a lot of these shades are going to be really similar. This one's described as a reddened coral with a subtle satin finish. So yeah, definitely a lot more coral, kind of orangey than the other ones that I've showed. I love these Clinique cheek pops because that description was perfect. They have the most natural looking sort of satin finish. This one, when I'm swatching it, it looks kind of similar to Benefit's Rockateur, but I would say more coral and less shimmery, and maybe also kind of similar to MAC's Melba. It's the one here at the very bottom right before my bracelet, and this is probably, I would say, my favorite of all of the Clinique cheek pops that I own. Again, this is number 1 Ginger Pop. First of all, I love ginger. I love anything ginger. I'm just gonna throw that out there, but this particular blush is really, really pretty. And again, I wouldn't wear it that like pigmented on my cheeks. This shears out and looks very, very natural. So if you're just looking for kind of a natural, easy, wearable flush and you don't like shimmer, but you don't want a flat matte, this one is a really good option. So I think that is gonna conclude my fall blush favorites. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blushes. I really wanted to keep it down to 5, but there was a couple other ones that I just couldn't not mention. So that is gonna wrap it up though. Let me know if you guys own any of these shades in the comments below and if you like them, or let me know what some of your fall favorite blushes are so that I can check those out. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I will see you all in my next one. I hope you have a great day. Bye.